Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And if you've been a follower of the channel, you know each and every Thursday I like to do something called Is He a Hall of Famer, where we take a look at a professional athlete who's not a clear-cut Hall of Fame guy, but definitely deserves to be in the conversation. Take a look at their career. I give my final verdict as to whether I believe they should be in their sports Hall of Fame, but as always, I like hearing from you guys in the comments whether you agree. So this will be the 26th episode. Today we're going to do a former NBA player. So the 26th episode of Is He a Hall of Famer was known simply as Stat, standing tall and talented power forward slash center Amar'e Stoudemire. Stoudemire was selected with the ninth overall pick in the 2002 NBA draft by the Phoenix Suns. Ended up playing 8 seasons for the Suns through the 2009-10 season before joining the New York Knicks for the 2010-11 season. Played with them until 2014-15, 36 games from that season before heading to the Mavericks, playing 23 games with them in the 2014-15 season. His last season in the NBA came in 2015-16, where he participated in 52 games for the Miami Heat after his post NBA playing career. He played in an Israeli league and also participated in Ice Cube's Big Three as well. Let's take a look at his career numbers via his basketball reference page. So, Stoudemire, 846 career regular season games, averages 18.9 points, 7.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists, shooting 53.7% from the field, so well over 50%. Take a look at his season by season numbers. Definitely was a beast, especially in his Phoenix seasons, playing along Nash, Mike D'Antoni, Joe Johnson. Many seasons over 20 points per game. In 6 seasons with Phoenix, he had over 20 points per game. Also won with the New York Knicks, career high of 26 points per game in the 2004-05 season. Nearly averaged double-digit rebounds in 2006-07, 9.6, one of 3 seasons where he averaged at least 9 rebounds per game. Also in each of his first 10 seasons, averaged at least a block per game, career high of 2.1 coming in the 2007-08 season. That 2007-08 season, also a career high of 59% shooting from the field. You see, had a few seasons where he shot over 80% from the free throw line, 76.1% for his career. Definitely respectable. So unfortunately, due to injuries, especially with his knee, the peak of his career might have ended prematurely. His last mighty productive season came in his age 28 season, that 2010-11 season with the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. I went to a couple games at the Garden that season. I remember MVP chants raining down on him. I think he finished ninth that season. But the following season saw his scoring average drop almost 8 points per game. Then just litany of injuries after that. So again, that's probably why his career numbers don't necessarily stand out, at least career points, rebounds for Hall of Fame. But when you look at his absolute peak, he was a monster. Take a look at his playoffs. I mean, look at that 2004-05 postseason in which the Suns did reach the conference finals, but lost to the Spurs. In 15 playoff games that year, 29.9 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Also was mighty productive in 2006-07, 25.3, 12.1, 1.9 respectively. 2009-10. 22.2 points per game, as the Suns also reached the Western Conference Finals that year, losing to the Lakers. Unfortunately, that was about it, as again, his career kind of cratered after leaving the Suns, besides one season with the Knicks. But look at some of these postseason series he had in his playoff career. So just make sure you can see it. All right. In that 2005, I mean, they swept the Grizzlies 22.8, 9.0, but whatever. In the Western Conference semis that year, beat Dallas in six, 28.8 points, 12.5 rebounds, 54.5% from the field. Yes, they lost in 5 games to the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, but can you blame him? 37 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, 55% field goal shooting. 2007 also is mighty productive as well. 24.2 and 13.6 in a 5 game win over the Lakers, 26.4 and 10.6 in a 6 game loss to the San Antonio Spurs. So unfortunately, they had a lot of trouble with the Spurs in their tenure, in Amar'e Stoudemire's tenure when it came to the postseason. Actually lost to him 4 times before beating him in the Western Conference semifinals in 2010, sweeping them. So again, Amar'e Stoudemire mighty productive in the postseason. Let's take a look at what analytics think of him. His advanced numbers. So a career per of 21.8 is very good. Career best 27.6 in 2007-08. Also led the league in true shooting percentage that year. Led the league in offensive win shares in 2004-05. 92.5 for his career. More than 2/3 of that coming on the offensive end. But again, metrics definitely look well on him. The advanced metrics. Basketball Reference likes doing something called a similarity score, where they take the win shares and compare guys, see who they're most similar to. So Stoudemire, most similar to Grant Hill, Hall of Famer. Elgin Baylor, Hall of Famer. Kevin Love, likely will be in the Hall of Fame. Elton Brand, Hall of very good. I highly doubt he ever makes the Hall of Fame, but he kind of is an underrated player. Cliff Hagan in, Anthony Davis will be in, Chris Mullin in, Peja Stojakovic, also Hall of very good. Sean Kemp, I did a previous episode of Is He a Hall of Famer on him. You could check that out. They're all on a playlist. And Vern Mickelson in. Stoudemire, as you see, named 2002-03 Rookie of the Year, made 6 All-Star teams, 5 with the Suns, 1 with the Knicks, 5 All NBAs, and it's not like he barely was named to All NBA teams. No third teams, 1 first team, and 4 second teams. His first team coming in 2006-07. Also had 4 top 10 MVP finishes, 6th, 9th, and 10th. Also finished 14th one season. So Basketball Reference also has a Hall of Fame probability, where they look at how guys who previously made it and come to a conclusion at what the exact chances are guys make it. It's not exactly the most accurate thing, but it gives Stoudemire a 72.9% chance. So Stoudemire was named to 6 All-Star teams, as I mentioned. Only one guy with more is not in the Hall of Fame. That's Larry Faust with 8, and he played all the way in the 1950s. So we take a look at the guys with 6. Tiny Archibald in, Jimmy Butler likely will get in, Larry Costello in, Adrian Dantley in, Walter Davis not in. DeMar DeRozan's going to have well over 20,000 career points, so he'll probably get in. Joe Dumars in, Joel Embiid will get in, Pau Gasol just got in, Blake Griffin did a Is He a Hall of Famer episode on him as well. Richie Guerin in, Tommy Heinsohn in, Bailey Howell in, Lou Hudson in, Neil Johnston in, Sean Kemp, as I mentioned, did an episode on him. Kyle Lowry, with his ring with the Raptors, pretty good chance he'll get in. Vern Mickelson in, Jermaine O'Neal not in, Tony Parker will get in, Mitch Richmond in, Amar'e Stoudemire doing the episode on him, Jack Twyman, George Yardley in. So most players with 6 have gotten in. So this is not active players with most All NBA to not make the Hall of Fame. Now this isn't updated completely. So because Dirk Nowitzki's 12 All NBAs just got inducted this year. Dwayne Wade's 8 All NBAs just got inducted this year. Carmelo Anthony 6 just retired. He's not yet eligible. He'll get in. LaMarcus Aldridge 5 actually did a Is a Hall of Famer on him. He recently announced his retirement. So guys that are eligible, because Tim Hardaway is also in now with 5. So guys that are eligible for the Hall of Fame but not in yet. The most All NBAs tied between two guys, Amar'e Stoudemire and Kevin Johnson, both with 5. And guess what? I also did a Is He a Hall of Famer episode on Kevin Johnson. Check that out. Last thing I want to share, this was from Yahoo in 2017, so little after Amar'e Stoudemire left the NBA. So it mentions, upon further review, though, Stoudemire's resume is a whole lot closer to Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame material than you might think. Include his career with 15,994 points, 6,632 rebounds, 1,054 blocks, and 1,050 assists. One of just 23 players to submit those numbers. Do they mean assists or do they mean steals? Let me double check that. Totals. Yes, okay, he did only have 1,050 assists. So passing wasn't his strong point, I will admit that. But again, just so dominant. And they had Steve Nash getting the assists, the Suns. Of the other 22, a list that includes former MVPs Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Dirk Nowitzki, Karl Malone, Moses Malone, Bob McAdoo, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett. All but 4 are in the Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame locks. Chris Webber in the Hall of Fame now. Rasheed Wallace, Elton Brand, and Stoudemire's son's teammate Sean Marion. So Sean Marion is also a guy I could probably do for this series. Among the 20 players on that list who have finished their careers, Stoudemire ranks 11th in win shares per 48 minutes behind 9 Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famer, current Hall of Famer now, Kevin Garnett, and only Kevin McHale finished his career with a higher true shooting percentage than Stoudemire. I mentioned the Hall of Fame probability. So the only players with a higher probability than Stoudemire who are eligible for the Hall of Fame and have not been voted in are Larry Faust, who I've mentioned, Jack Sikma, who is now in the Hall of Fame, and Tim Hardaway, who is also now in the Hall of Fame. So Amar'e Stoudemire, do I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame? I am going to say yes. At his absolute peak, there were very few that were able to dominate quite like him. Very exciting Suns teams, very innovative. And yes, Steve Nash was one of the best point guards, but he wouldn't have been as good without Mr. Standing Tall and Talented with him. As a Knicks fan, I'm disappointed how his Knicks tenure went. Unfortunately, injuries took their toll with him, but that one season I did see with him, man, was he unstoppable, that 2010-11 season. So, again, Basketball Hall of Fame seems to let in the most questionable of the 4 North American sports. I'm talking NBA, NHL, NFL, and MLB. I think Stoudemire should find his way into Springfield. But let me know in the comments if you agree. Is Amar'e Stoudemire a Hall of Famer? Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.